loved this edition of your podcast. You were able to sit down with Deion. You have the inside scoop now. What's realistic to expect from Deion at Colorado?
We want to win. He got to win. It's as simple as that, Skip. And he understands.
Sooner than later.
Yeah, he will.
Okay.
I think it'll take him probably a year, at least a year or two, because you got to get your guys in there. Everybody's not going to enter the transfer portal to leave, even though he did give that proclamation like, hey, this is a different era. This is a different way we do business. He understands college football is all about recruiting. Kirby Smart has done an unbelievable job, but Kirby Smart is getting 10 and 12, 4 and 5 star recruits.
And a bunch of them come from the state of Georgia, where you grew up. You can't do that just in Colorado.
No, you got to go. But he has the reach. He has the tentacles. Yeah. He is prime time. He is Coach Prime. He has the ability to go. Now, he brought Travis Hunter with him. He's the #1 transfer prospect in the transfer portal.
Yep.
They flipped a guy, running back that was supposed to go to Notre Dame, a 4-star. They flipped Hopkins, a 4-star wide receiver, supposed to go to
Auburn. Yep.
Auburn. Mm-hmm. Now he's got his sights set on a 5-star that no-showed at signing day for the University of Miami.
He did.
If he can land him, he brought his son, Shedeur, the quarterback. Skip, I think he's going about it the right way, but he wants a specific type of a guy. Smart, fast, discipline, character, all those things. But I think it's going to take him at least 2 years before he get a lot more of his guys, get a lot more of these 4- and 5-star recruits. Because I'm telling you, he can coach, and he's got a good job. I mean, he brought Zim with him, got the guy from Alabama, defensive coordinator.
He was the associate defensive coordinator at Alabama.
Alabama? Kent State brought the guy. I think he was the head coach.
He was the head coach, and he's going to coordinate the offense. Yep. Okay. So, and my man Dennis Thurman came with him to kind of oversee things.
Yep. So it's all about that, Skip. But I love his attitude. Like I said, I've been knowing him for such a long time. We're like brothers now because we talk every day. Except the time that he was going through it, he mentioned in the podcast about he had almost lost his life, ended up losing 2 toes, almost lost his leg. But Skip, Colorado, it's not easy because it's not like a state rich in football talent like Georgia or Florida or California, Texas. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to hit the recruiting trail.
Yep.
And you're going to have to convince some of them guys. Coach McCarthy did it in the 90s. Coach McCarthy. Yep. He went to Texas and got Alfred Williams and Canavis McGee. He came out here to Colorado and got B-Enemy and J.J. Flanagan and got Cordell. So you can do it. You get the Chad Brown. You get the 4 national championship. And they were a powerhouse in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. Time is going to try to replicate that, and I believe he can do it. He just has to he's got a great coaching staff. Get a few more recruits. Sky's the limit.
So I'm glad you had him on your podcast because I had the privilege, the honor of covering him just for a couple of years in Dallas. Mm-hmm. But he is the rarest of human beings. He is. And whatever he chooses to do, it's going to work.
Right.
Because he's got the magic Midas touch to him. And now he has thrust himself into the eye of the college football storm, where I think even Coach Saban and Coach Harbaugh, they're looking sideways saying, is he coming?
Right.
Yep, he's coming. He's coming for all of you. And I believe that within 5 years, he could win a national championship at Colorado. Maybe that's even too long. Maybe I should do 4 years.
Right.
But he is off to a flying start for all the reasons you just detailed. Travis Hunter is big time. He's the best addition that Colorado has ever had in its football history.
Right.
And I watched that bowl game that they lost in overtime.
Celebration Bowl.
But listen, Shedeur to Travis Hunter, it tied the game. It was just, Travis Hunter is big time.
Yes.
And he's only going to be a sophomore, so Deion's got him for 2 more years at Colorado.
Yes.
You have an opening in the Pac, whatever we're going to call it, because USC and UCLA have 1 more year, and then they're going to the Big Ten.
Right.
And I assume that's going to happen.
And he has Willie Taggart on his staff, who won, I think, 7 or 8 ball games at Oregon.
Okay.
And so he knows how to navigate, what's this conference about?
Okay, so the beautiful thing yesterday was they added 24 new players, 14 high school recruits, 2 JUCO kids, and 8 other transfers through the portal. And the recruits came from 14 states and the UK, and that was the most number of states in one class in Colorado program history. Mm-hmm. Bingo.
Right.
Okay, now he's off to the race. That's how you're going to have to do it.
Yes.
So I remind everybody, This program was 1-11 last year, and this program has had losing records for 15 of the last 17 years.
Yes.
You are up against it, but it is a sleeping giant to me because I grew up in what was called the Big Eight, but Colorado was a powerhouse all through those years in the Big Eight and humiliated my Sooners a number of times up in Boulder.
Yes.
It was a hard place to win at because it's a beautiful place, number one, as you know.
Yeah.
And they have a tradition that's just dormant.
Yeah.
It will come back alive because he's going to. It's Deion. The moment he stepped on campus, I'm sure his life just shot across the campus because they're back in business. Okay, so here's the key piece to the puzzle that you mentioned. This kid, Cormani McClain, is out of Lakeland, and he committed to the U. He's the number 2 prospect in the country. In the country. Behind the Manning kid, okay? But number 2, because he's a 6 foot 2 inch corner. I was watching some highlights of him before the show. Long and strong and fast, okay? His head was turned by Deion yesterday, so he didn't go ahead and sign with the U because he's thinking, well, wait a second. The greatest cornerback ever, and it ain't even close, wants to coach me, well, maybe I should go there because think of what I could learn from him.
That's how you got Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter wanted to play defensive back. He said, this is the greatest corner. I can learn directly from you.
And he's a great teacher. Some guys who are great aren't great teachers. He's a great teacher. Okay?
I mean, the thing is, you know, you're a composer and you get a chance to learn from Mozart or Chopin.
I know. That's true. That's exactly what it is. So what if he gets Cormani McClain to flip from the U to CU, right?
They said the Buffalo has the 7th ranking as far as transfer portal. Last year, they were 78. From 78 to 7th in a year.
In 1 year. Their class, just on recruiting kids, the high school kids, was 50th. Okay, well, if they get Cormani McClain, trust me, it's going to shoot way up right there. Well, now you're off to the races. So I'm reading this story. I think you read it, too, in USA Today, but they were quoting the Rivals.com recruiting coordinator. So his last piece of advice about Deion is you can have Travis Hunter come to Colorado, but do you have the 5 offensive linemen that can block Oregon and USC and UCLA and Utah? That's, in the end, that's how you
got to have front to back. Offense, defensive line. Offense, defensive line. Front to back. You have all the skill positions you want, but if your quarterback can't get the ball off, it doesn't do you any good. So you got to get those dogs up front.
So next year, you have to deal with Lincoln Riley and Caleb and USC. You're going to have to deal with them, and you're going to have to deal with Chip Kelly and all the talent that he has stockpiled at UCLA. But after 2 years...
Skip, when you look at teams that win, look at Georgia. Look at the offensive defensive line. Look at Alabama. They put offensive defensive linemen out the yin-yang. Ohio State, offensive defensive line.
Have to.
Now Michigan all of a sudden said, hold on, we want to compete. Let us go get some offensive defensive linemen. Now Michigan back-to-back college football playoffs. You get those dogs up front, you'll be all right.
Man, I just think he's going to make a big splash at Colorado because that's just who he is and what he does. And I don't think he's going to be overmatched by going up to another level and having to compete in a bigger conference.
Skip, I mean, come on. The dude competed, and he was great at, played baseball, professional baseball and football in the same season. Hit a home run, scored a touchdown.
I've never seen anything like it.
Played the World Series, played in the Super Bowl. Like I said, Skip, if you weren't, I don't think people realize just how talented this man was. I don't think they realize, Skip, because, you're like, I played football and basketball in high school. Not at that level.
Not at that level. I have made the case for many years he was the greatest athlete ever, all-around, overall athlete, because he was an all-state basketball player in Fort Myers. It was just high school, but he was all-state. And then what he achieved as the greatest cornerback and a starting center fielder and leadoff hitter for the Yankees and the Braves and the Giants and the Reds. Okay, I know people say Bo Jackson, and maybe if you eye test Bo Jackson, it was just like extraordinary what he could do. He ran up the wall to make a catch at the All-Star game. I was there in Anaheim. But the point is, I just don't, as great as Bo was at football and baseball, he wasn't as great at his position in football as Deion was at his position, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
Bo, I actually, Skip, I was in the league in the early '90s when Bo was in Oakland, and that he had a long run against us in Denver. You had to see it. I feel very fortunate to skip that 54. I'm like, damn, 54. But I saw some things up close and personal in my life that I'm like, just sit back and like, wow. You see Bo and you see Time and you see guys like that. You see a LT, you see a Reggie White, and you just marvel at what you see. Joe Montana and Jerry in their primes.
Yep. You did. You got to see a lot.
Hey, as a matter of fact, my last Pro Bowl, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady was my quarterback.
Did you catch passes from him?
I ain't catching nothing. I was just over there, Skip. I said, this my last one probably. They ain't getting nothing at you, boy. I ain't gonna need a lot of you, Skip. I was just over there free. I was just lunching. I was free lunch. Nope, I ain't do no
practice.
No, Skip. I ain't do no practice.
Well, then you were ahead of the curve on this because now they don't even play the game.
I ain't gonna lie, Skip. I think I got one play. One play.
That was by your choice.
Yeah, right? I shut that thing down, Skip. I shut it down, Skip.
All right, at least you're honest.
Yeah, I shut it down.
Shannon, you were just adding gravitas to the event. They should be glad that you graced them with your presence.
I mean, to see Peyton, man, I'm like, man, I get a chance to catch one pass in practice. Throw me one in practice, Peyton, Tom, because that's all I got for you. You gonna give me the game.
This was an awesome edition of the Club Shay Shay podcast. If y'all haven't listened to it, check it out. You do not want to miss it. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.